Watching the Week in Rock. Just play that music.
This week, we've got a trip to England on acid, a fast-track update on instant gratification, and a look at hot comic artist Bill Sienkiewicz. Hi, I'm Kurt Loder. Welcome to the Week in Rock. The big tour news this week belonged to Keith Richards, who kicked off his solo tour in Atlanta on November 23rd and has been racking up enthusiastic reviews ever since. USA Today caught his show in Washington, D.C. last Sunday and described Keith and his group, the Expensive Winos, as a hell-bent, heaven-sent garage band. The New York Times called his concert in Manhattan on Tuesday inspired rock and roll. But what about his singing, you ask? Well, one fan was quoted as saying Keith's voice was, quote, so awful, you've got to love it. We hooked up with Richards in New York, and as you're about to see, the solo life seems to be agreeing with him.
There's an amazing feeling of confidence with this band, and it's fun. You know, it was like more exciting than anything else. Like, at last, I managed to pull a gig together.
Yes, Keith Richards is finally back on the road after 6 years, and he's loving it. His new band is so naturally hot, he says he wasn't even nervous before the first gig in Atlanta last month.
I was unnaturally calm. I couldn't believe. Friends of mine are there and other people, and they're a bag of nerves, you know. Calm down, you know, have a drink.
Oh, he's full of shit. He was a nervous wreck.
Well, whatever. Nervous or not, Keith and company have been drawing massive reactions from their concert crowds.
You know, it's great when you go out to do a show and you don't see anybody sit down until, you know, you're back in the dressing room and you're the one sitting. It's the greatest.
Keith's core band is augmented on stage by Rolling Stones tour vet Bobby Keys on sax and ex-LaBelle singer Sarah Dash, who turns in a soaring rendition of Time Is On My Side. Other surprises in the show include a walloping version of Connection, a Keith penned Stones nugget from 1967. There's also a rollicking reprise of the Stones' first single, the Lennon-McCartney tune I Want to Be Your Man, a number suggested, much to Keith's delight, by drummer Steve Jordan.
I mean, to do Stones songs that the Stones have done without them, you know, without sort of trying to encroach on some of that hallowed turf, you know, is difficult. And that was just like, well, it's brilliant, Steve, brilliant. Here's $20.
The day after their New York show, Keith and the boys turned up at Tower Records for some feedback from the fans.
Keith Live is really awesome shows.
Keith Richards is the embodiment of rock and roll. Jagger needs Richards more than Richards needs Jagger.
Keith needs needs Keith, but Keith will definitely make it as a solo artist too, I think. I love them both, you know, all of them.
Richards' tour runs through December 17th, when it winds up at the Meadowlands Arena in New Jersey with a final gig on the eve of his 45th birthday. But will he really be ready to stop?
That's going to be the toughest thing. It's essential to have fun on stage, and if you are, then it's always a drag when it stops.
Keith and his band will play the Cleveland Music Hall on Wednesday, the Fox Theater in Detroit on Thursday, and Chicago's Aragon Ballroom next Saturday. Meanwhile,